Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Without a doubt, the Golden Bachelorette actress, Joan Vassos, had a lovely collection of men who were battling for her heart. No one can deny that it was a difficult decision for Joan to open herself up and find which man would be her greatest fit. Although she could only choose one man in the end, she had 5 that impacted her spirit deeply. She describes which of her suitors genuinely stuck out to her throughout their stay at the mansion. Joan picks her final 4 for hometowns. During the newest episode of The Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos had to remove down to her top 4 picks for hometowns. Sadly, some of the interactions were devastating as Joan bid farewell. But she knew it was going to get increasingly more difficult as the weeks went by. She has opted to go to her hometowns with Pascal Ibgui, Chalk Chappell, Guy Gansard, and Jordan Heller. Each of the men who went received sincere chats about how Joan will miss them. However, she has so many positive memories from her experience. She confides in fans about the 5 men that genuinely altered her life along the road. According to US Weekly, Joan Vassos talks positively about her men. Although she couldn't take them all through the complete journey, she realized they were a very unique group. She remarked, "This group of men, I am so shocked about how open they are with their feelings, and how willing they are to talk to each other." Seemingly, this was an eye-opening event for Joan to observe the enchantment that came over the males who were in the mansion. Joan adds, "That never has been my experience with men. I feel like whenever there's a group of males, they chat about sports, their golf game and how their baseball team is doing. Or even about their enterprises. They rarely communicate about their thoughts, and it was amazing how quickly these guys became comfortable with each other." However, Joan has commented about how tough it is to date at her age. Although age may simply be a number, Joan knows that all of her males come with experience from a world that wasn't gentle on them. She explains, "They knew that they were in a house with people in this position, where things hadn't gone perfectly in their lives." Furthermore, Joan muses on how much they all had to move out of their comfort zones to take a chance at love. She adds, "Something has happened to the person that they felt they were gonna spend the rest of their lives with and, maybe, that gave them a comfort level, knowing they were gonna be talking to somebody who could relate and empathize with them." Although Joan has picked her final 4, she also has 5 men who moved her during her journey. For Joan Vassos and Chalk Chappell, the stars aligned and she was swept off to a fantastic experience at Disneyland. But what that stuck out to her about Chalk was the ease of communication. She stated, "We started talking and never stopped." Furthermore, she continues, "It was so easy, to the point where producers said, 'Hey, enjoy the atmosphere. You're just talking amongst yourselves.'" Admittedly, Joan admits that Chalk and her beloved husband, John Vassos, were people who wanted to fix everything. Likewise, they are strong men that established the element of safety for her. She says, "I've had this feeling that I don't feel as safe as I used to when John was alive. But Chalk helped her return to the sense of home that she felt with John." She explains, "He just made me feel safe. I thought, Chalk's a person who would make you feel comfortable again." Sadly, Chalk Chappell's mother died away during the season. While Joan Vassos completely understood he was hurting and had to depart, it was painful to watch him leave. Similarly, Joan had to leave quickly on her journey with Jerry Turner. Although it was sad to watch Chalk go, Joan knew it was the right thing for him and his family. She explains, "I knew in his heart he wanted to come back, but I knew that he could find something at home that didn't allow him to come back." Additionally, Joan continues, "And as a really upstanding guy, he would not leave his family that needed him. So I was honestly truly worried he wasn't gonna come back. Thank God he did." Other things that mesmerized her were, "He had these beautiful blue eyes, I have to say that helps. He's incredibly handsome." Pascal Ibgui made a big impression. When thinking back, Joan Vassos understood that Pascal Ibgui was distinct from anyone she had ever known. Not only was he dressed properly, but he was very intriguing to her with his lovely French accent and foreign flair. She explains, "Pascal does life big. He spends the money and makes things fun. But she understands, the world is judging him a little as he seems high maintenance with his posture of I don't do laundry, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do all these things. Since he built himself up from nothing, he has decided to live a life paying others to take care of those things instead of utilizing his time and effort that way. Joan acknowledges, he came from bad circumstances, but she also realizes he is completely self-made. Undeniably, he has confidence in the success he has achieved for himself with his Chicago-based salon. Then, she adds, I think he's fun to be around. I can see life in Chicago, living like way. Joan Vassos also adores Charles Ling. As Joan Vassos revisits her time at the mansion, she realizes that Charles Ling was someone who changed her. She recalls being intrigued by his innocence, he is so pure and unjaded. Furthermore, she says that is highly uncommon for people in their age range. She continues, the fact that he is so innocent still is a quality you don't see in older people. Likewise, even though he was deeply mourning, he was sincere. Although he was Charles not in charge, he was a breath of fresh air for everyone around him. But she actually likes that Charles is very open with his feelings. Even though he lost his wife 6 years early, he cherished her and is still processing his loss. But his honest, unvarnished chats let others deal with their own sadness. Whether they were mourning the death of a partner or the life they imagined they would have, Charles supported several of the men and Joan with processing their emotions. Teddy Bear, Keith Gordon. From night one, Joan Vassos regarded Keith Gordon as someone very exceptional. His huge boisterous personality drew attention. Then, the gentle announcement of being a girl dad, which was mentioned as his official job description, emphasized Keith's dedication to his family. Joan says on meeting Keith, it was just easy. She appreciated that he rolled up distinctively with his antique station wagon, which was reminiscent of her childhood. Then, he recommended they skip the mansion and head to the beach. Unmistakably, that was something she desired. I was like, God, that's exactly what I'd like to be doing right now. When she handed him the first impression rose, she remarked he was a big teddy bear. Joan Vassos' fifth stand-up man, Mark Anderson. Before commencing her journey as the Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos got to see Mark Anderson on The Bachelor with Joey Graziadei and his pick, Kelsey Anderson. Undoubtedly, Bachelor Nation had an infatuation with Mark from the get-go. Admittedly, Joan recalls, I felt like I knew him a little bit. Joan even joked when Kelsey dropped him off in the limo that she could just call her mom. Joan felt linked from the start. She stated, he had been on Joey's season for her hometown and I saw what kind of father he was and lovely man he was. Likewise, she claimed, he looks into your eyes and just makes you feel calm. Although Joan was at ease with him, she also realized he wasn't at the proper spot in his grief journey to move forward. Sadly, Joan had a terrible goodbye to leave him to heal instead of holding on to him for her own enjoyment. Mark had spotted a hummingbird and knew that his wife was indicating him it was okay for him to move on, but Joan observed that Mark started his route to learn about himself. Catch new episodes of The Golden Bachelorette on ABC Wednesdays at August 7th, and then stream on Hulu later. What do you think about the 5 men that Joan Vassos mentions actually stood out to her? Are you enjoying this season of The Golden Bachelorette? Drop your comments below.